Good morning, guys. It's Saturday. Dan went over to Boss Wraps yesterday and picked up our prints. I'm really excited to see these. They always offer quality printing there and have really kind of figured out how to refine printing onto silver chrome with the projects that I've given them. So I always appreciate their, effort and attention that they put towards their work. Look at that. I'm so excited about this. Okay, we have solid black. And look at this beautiful gradation to the raw silver. That's gonna look really cool on the car. I can't wait to get this on there. Hopefully I can get the driver's side B-pillar wrapped with this today. With how this is turning out. It looks pretty cool, and the black is like a soft enough gradation right here to the silver. It's kind of hard, it's so reflective and shiny, but yeah, it's turning out nice. Luckily I got the right print size material, don't have too much excess. Right now I even got this part covered down here, which is pretty cool because that will show once the door is shut, which is fine, but with it being like gray like that, it's gonna stand out more if I don't have it wrapped black. Right now I'm just going into this little track here for the window, which is kind of always a cool little spot to experiment with because you can see like just how much you can heat up the material and really get it to conform to like the details of what you're wrapping to. So yeah, just working on that and trying to not burn my fingers while I'm at it. All right, I'll show you guys when this is all complete. Coming together. This matched up really nicely. Printed like a rich black, so 100% of all colors, and then made sure to use like a nice high gloss lamp so we can get it as close as possible to the black paint. I think it's getting that effect that I was hoping for. What do you think, Dan?
I like it.
Dan loves this part. All the body panels come off and on, off and on. That's it for today because we are headed to Adams tonight for Saturday night thrift. See you guys later. Okay, we are back. I'm working on the next piece to this puzzle here today. I'm going to be adding the orange gradient silver chrome to this part of the side skirt today. So I have this nice print from Boss Wraps, and I chose to seam it with like going with the door line here. It would just make more sense and be more like cost efficient to seam it right here. It's not ideal for a skirt. I didn't want to have to print an entire long piece just for this printed section here. So I mean, you could always seam it later when you repair it, but this was kind of the best solution that I came up with. Okay, I have this part of the skirt done. This is the kind of thing when I wish I would just like find it in myself to start on the passenger side and not start on the driver's side, but I always just work better in this direction for some reason. Reason why I wish I would have kind of like done it twice, I only had one printout of this. I technically should have done this little inlet first and then overlaid this. I was just nervous about not being able to line up like where I would cut this if I did it as the second layer on top. But you can kind of see like it's just not the cleanest seam right there by any means, and I think it'll do. This is one of those things where like people will see Dan's car, like even some of the shop customers, and they'll ask if I can wrap their car for them. I'm like, I am not a professional. I wrap Dan's drift car. Like, this car goes through a lot. You guys have seen how the competitions go and kind of what it takes to compete out there, and cars just get thrashed. Little details like that is something that I would never charge anyone for my work, I guess, but it works well on Dan's car. I try to do what I can just to try to like keep it nice and clean. I was happy with how I was able to wrap this around. That was kind of cool. Just gives like those little finishing effects. I probably should have said this in the beginning. I hope that you guys, you know, watch this just to kind of see how I accomplish this and how Dan's livery comes together, but by no means is it any type of like how-to video or anything like that. I mean, I can share little things that I've learned along the way, but I'm pretty far from like any professional that can give you like direct advice on how to wrap. And if they were to watch this video, maybe some of you are, they'd probably cringe at how I'm doing some of it, but it's worked. Mark helped out with wrapping the silver chrome from that point, and then the orange lip that goes all the way around the car. It's the molten orange of gear wrench. I think later today I'm going to work just on passenger side of this B pillar. That way, like, all of this will get wrapped today. That's the plan until I get distracted again, or until Dan gets me distracted again. We went on like a hike this morning. It was really fun, but that wasn't part of the plan today or this weekend. But it's okay. It's a good balance. All right, see you guys later. Hey guys, okay, so it's a new week. Over the weekend, I was able to kind of finish up some main areas that I was focusing on the passenger side. Since Boss Wraps was able to get those prints to me. The car just went to dyno today. The guys had to clearance the rear fender a little bit. Thank God I didn't like wrap anything on that part. That would have been a bummer. I think they did have to clearance part of the side skirt, but it's okay, that part's somewhat hidden. Anyway, over the weekend, I was able to finish this side of the car down here. Also got the B pillar, so we're silver all the way up and over now. Then the Targa top just came in today. It's pretty cool. I'm sure Dan will have this on his off-season refresh, of course, but I want you guys to see this really cool carbon Targa top before it gets all wrapped in silver chrome. It's much lighter than the stock, obviously. It's coming together. It's just one big puzzle right now, and it's gonna take time, but I'm trying to do as much as I can, kind of all at once, to be honest. It's just like crazy, like day-to-day business. You're like, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna set up these files, I'm gonna cut this file, I'm gonna get this masked today, and I'm gonna get this installed, and it just does not happen that way. It's like maybe around 4:30. You're like, okay, I can get to it. And then it's just, yeah, the day's over within an hour and a half or so. Right now it's, I think, almost 8:30 in the evening. Bear with me. Hello, so it's been a few days. Been busy working on stuff with the printers, to be honest, trying to get the print on the silver chrome just right. It's trickier than I thought it was gonna be. I kind of know what I would have done differently, but at this point, I think I can still make it work. We had a test day at the track yesterday, so I lost one day. Since you guys have last seen, I just finished wrapping this front fender here. So it's kind of a nice blend of the whites. Right now I'm getting ready to actually lay down the rest of the car, so I'm just kind of mapping out because I have to layer everything. Together pretty nicely. Looks nice and crisp. Everything came out pretty smooth in this area here. I'm happy with how it's blending. It's getting there though. Still have the skirt to do and the lip to do. I'm really happy. I have my bond paper coming together for the hood. I'll start cutting that stuff out probably over the weekend and then do as much as I can then. And we move on to the other side. That's not nearly as fun as the first side. Hope you guys like it. Hey guys, we're back on another weekend. I guess hopefully through this video you guys can kind of see how It is a little hard to define how much time I get to spend on the car because the days get really broken up. I'm sure you've been able to follow that throughout the video, and I'm doing my best to get the process. I'm gonna try to focus a little more on when I'm actually installing the vinyl, kind of how I plan to, rather than just explaining it and then you guys seeing it. This weekend, I'm planning on finishing the hood. I'm just gonna do one side with like my bond paper. I measured that out. Then if that actually works during install, then I'll go ahead and cut the passenger side. I know now that my files work for on the driver's side, so I've reversed everything. I'm gonna start cutting the passenger side today and hopefully over the weekend have that installed. Mark's gonna help out with the skirts and stuff like that. Okay, so I have my guides here just roughly with a wax pen. Mainly I do want this inner edge of the black to follow the white, so let's see how close I can get with that. Small pieces like this, I have found it a lot easier to do without masking. I just like working a little more freely when it's strips like this. It's like a little more constraining, I feel like, when it's masked. This is tricky, very tricky. Put on a second glove. This is Ghost Gloves from Montroy. I don't usually work with two gloves like this. I actually never do, but kind of working left to right. I think I just got into the habit of using gloves. Feel most comfortable with it, kind of handling the material like that. Let's see where we're at here on this edge. Sometimes one thing I've learned is that rather than inching along little by little trying to get it exactly right, I've learned that like if I come at the farthest end, this is kind of how I work the knifeless tape also, you're gonna get a more evenly laid piece by working with your end point like that. I only share things like this with you guys because it's what, again, kind of what I've been able to catch on to. I've never been formally trained on any of this. In the past, when I had more time, I definitely wanted to take classes, kind of as things evolved with the business and stuff. Time was not as available, which is fine. Just kind of learned as I've gone with all this. So I'm open to any advice and also hope that what I do share might help you guys a little from like a beginner standpoint. Okay, I like that. Actually laid down on this white edge, pretty nice, a little simpler than I thought it was. I was concerned that I'd have to cut it out kind of at a curve or an arc. That's the beauty of vinyl. It just conforms to what you're wrapping. It's pretty cool technology. I should probably put some heat on this real quick. It wasn't really my intention for the black or anything on top of this embossed effect to be dimensional or embossed. I'm just trying to create the overall design, and we really want to maximize our space for our gear wrench hood logo, so that's why I'm trying to work out from the center space so only the blue goes in. If I had the blue and black, we're going to lose quite a bit of space between both sides. This KPMF is really nice. Okay. Now for the knifeless tape. Trying to decide how much over I want to go. I think if I overlap just enough, it's gonna be rough up close, but I think it's more important that it is seamed well so that we don't have the material shrinking up on us and exposing the white paint. It's gonna take me a little while, you guys. I've gotten comfortable with knifeless tape, but I don't typically do curves like that free-handedly with it. I've seen some pretty cool videos of what you can really do with the different types of knifeless tape, and people go in and make flames and all kinds of cool things. But I'm just gonna inch my way through this one. Now that I'm like in a straight area for the most part, I'm gonna get past this a little bit. Like I was saying, now that I'm kind of on straight edge here, it's easier to work in larger areas. Kind of getting a curve here in the hood, so I'm gonna take it little by little. And we wanna come all the way down. I'm holding just enough tension at the other end of this so that it's not getting stretched. You don't wanna stretch the knifeless tape. Little details like this, I kind of just hope and pray it'll hold up with the season and pretty much like having the guys work on the car. A lot of greasy hands and stuff like that on the hood. I kind of go about this expecting that something might come up. I never have really let it stop me from kind of what I wanted to see on the car. So far, been in the clear. I haven't quite refined like how well it works with thick materials like chrome, because it'll show kind of the white edge, or if you kind of waver with the knifeless tape as you go, it's going to show that little wave. So I'm just going to have to do my best when I lift this up. Let's go get our blue chrome. Here we go. Good. I hope I have enough of the blue. Like I wasn't supposed to go out further because it's pretty thin of a stripe going there, but let's just get a feel for it, see how it looks. I want to make sure the chances that I am using blue chrome that we're kind of making an impact with it, because we didn't add as much blue this year, but then I'm also trying to think of not coming in too much. Such a fine stripe. Wavered right there. Yeah, I kind of got that white edge here where it's taking the layers off the chrome. I don't know that I'm able to get it much better, you guys. At least with my experience. Seamed up nicely. It's just so rough right there. I maybe was supposed to pull up on the knifeless tape more than out. Trying to put a lot of heat here so that these seams are kind of set. May or may not become an issue throughout the season as the car's running and the hood gets hot. Kind of anxious to see it with the blue stripes. I'm gonna go get those right now. Oh, we have to mask them. Just made it. Chrome actually shows the dimensional more than I thought it would. I'm laughing because I just took that helmet cam off. Okay, so you guys kind of saw the process step by step with the hood and kind of laying down these spot graphics here. It's pretty cool. I like it. It really brings the rest of the car up to the front.
I like it a lot so far.
It's like fresh look.
Completely new to what we've done for so many years, so I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think you guys are gonna like it too.
Even though they've already seen it.
Well,
at this point,
they need to see the whole thing in person.
They'll see how it was built.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll bring you guys in when I start working on the passenger side later. Turbo! far tonight. I did complete the hood like I wanted to. It'll kind of come together once I have everything going on the front bumper. You'll see. Got the hood, was able to cut out the passenger side, got everything I can put on there tonight. Pretty happy with today's progress. Tomorrow, I'm really probably just going to spend time setting up more files, making sure all of like the sponsor decals fit in the spots that we've like contracted with, and I also have to set up the file for the roof. So I have the art ready, I just have not set up the print and cut file for it. Just because I'm trying to buy time, I'm going to count on Mark for doing those extra pieces that haven't gotten silver chrome yet. That way I can kind of get those print files and stuff set up, because that's something that no one else can do. Trying to move it as quick as I can so I can get back to the normal RAD stuff that still needs to get done. Anyway, thanks for hanging with me today. See you later. Good morning, you guys. Okay, so it is Sunday. I'm gonna try and work on getting some print files set up for the week that I can get to boss wraps. I also have a bunch of decals that I can cut in-house here. I've got a lot to go through. What I did was kind of look at my mock-up here and where I've placed all of the sponsors, which takes time to even agree on the locations, so there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I referenced my mock-up here and I listed everything and the amount that I need. 1, 2, and this doesn't include spares for the season. Everything that I need printed that boss is going to work on for us, because they do quality work. So these are all the print items, and then these are all the decals that I need to make in-house. The cutter that we use here, the US cutter or US cutter, we literally got it for I think under $500, and I've been using it this entire time for our decals, and it was like the best little investment. I don't know how many years that cutter has left on it or when I'm going to like max out its capabilities, but so far it's kind of like become sentimental to me at this point that I can still use that. So I have a lot to go through because I went into the race trailer. You always want to travel with spares, make sure you're representing your sponsors while you're at the track, and as you guys know, with FD there's a lot of touch-ups. I've gotten kind of excessive with it, but when you're in the moment, you want to be able to get to things as quick as possible. Or a lot of the time, I might be up in the spotter tower and then the guys are making repairs on the car. And I try to remember, like, it's hard because if it's really urgent, they're taking their headsets off and stuff like that. But we want to make sure that, you know, if one of the decals got too messed up, that got replaced. They're pretty good about communicating to me, letting me know, hey, this is a little roughed up. And that's kind of when I resorted to doing this, where I put them in alphabetical order. They might think I'm a little crazy, but it helps. Again, all of these are kind of based on 2020, so I have to go through and see which ones are still going to work for this year and kind of check them off on my list here. Red Dan stuff. Okay, this is for Dan's helmet. Oh cool, I actually have that made. Nice. So it's like really hard to keep track of all of this if you don't sort through it. Oh cool, so I don't have to make another one of these too. It's like a nice surprise. I got a lot to do. Back to it. Okay, so it's the beginning of yet another week. Was able to set up some... Dan's burning himself. I was able to set up some files and kind of like get more logos to size before we start printing them on material. And Mark over here has been a lifesaver. He's just having so much fun working on the side skirts. Aren't you, Mark? It's super helpful that he's able to kind of take care of these solid parts that I haven't complicated with my design yet. So we finished on this side, and then we have it seamed right here so that throughout the season we can actually touch up this area so Dan can battle and drive the Supra like it's meant to be in Formula Drift. Right, Dan?
Oh, what's happening?
So it's coming along. Just wanted to fill you guys in on this part of the process. This takes so much time, all the logos. A lot of things that I'm trying to get exactly to size. You would think they'd stay the same from year to year, but there's always a little bit of a change. Okay, talk to you guys later. Okay guys, it is Wednesday. I feel like I'm gonna be working on decals forever. There's a couple things that I have going on. Yesterday I cut all white decals, and then I got my blue chrome cut and weeded. I just need to mask all of that for install. Right now, TJ Hunt and Calvin just arrived. Right now I'm cutting my black decals. and I get to weed all of those, mask all of those, but I don't know, maybe I make this more complicated than it needs to be, but this has seemed to help me. Maybe it can help you guys too. I created a master file here because we have to like touch up these decals throughout the season too. So I kind of made them as columns. Like here, I have my master for black decals, and those are all set and ready to be cut. And then I kind of have like a little order into myself of what black decals need to be ran. That really helps me a lot because I have blacks up here, fluorescent, that's white, blue chrome. And then I also have different files for the printer for our full color logos. These guys are getting printed, laminated, and cut, but I can peel right off of the sheet and apply it to the car. These ones have individual letters, so those not only need to be printed, laminated, cut, but they also need to be masked with a transfer tape so I can actually apply it to the car. These ones are all one element, so it's a different process. So I try to make my orders as clear as possible for the printer. That's something that has kind of helped me, I think, coming from my background working at a print shop. Knowing that, I think there's maybe a lot of graphic designers that aren't as familiar with the output. They might have the file design, but simple things like you learn once you go to a printer, you learn about cut and bleed and how you need to set your files up appropriately for that, if anyone's interested in this. But I have my layers here. I have a cut contour layer and then print and bleed. You'll see here, I'm focusing on this logo here. If I take off my print and bleed layer, it leaves the cut line. That's the cut line. This is the print and bleed. So you see how the printed color is going beyond the cut line, so you don't get a white edge of material. So each and every one of these is set up like that. I was up till 10:30 setting up these files the other night because they're just so detailed, and since Boss Wraps is so good about helping us out, I always try to eliminate the hassle of sloppy files, and they can just kind of plug and play, send it right through their cutter and into production. So that's where I'm at right now. I will have more prints from Boss Wraps, I think one from Mouse Graphics by tomorrow, and then I can probably be able to finish everything. So we're getting very close, almost there. Okay, you guys, this has become quite a long, drawn-out process, but I went and picked up my print for the passenger front fender today. Then I dropped it off at Boss Wraps to get laminated. I wanted to take you guys with me there and like show you around, but they just moved into their new location and they're still trying to get a lot of stuff together, but it is so cool and they're capable of doing so many other different outputs, like anything large format you can think of, they can do it. They have the space now, they have access to other machines that they didn't have before, so large banners, any kind of routing. They already did so much. We get to kind of showcase them through car wraps, even though I'm the one that's wrapping, but I guess we get to showcase them through the printing. Okay, you guys, this is it. We got most of the decals on, finally. Been a bit of a process, but starting to look like a race car again. Have a few little parts that I still need to work on. Right now, I'm gonna do the roof. So this is a full color print, and then this is gonna be blue chrome, so I'm installing them as two separate pieces. And I used my bond paper and wax pen and just kind of created some guides here. I'm gonna clean it up. That'll help me as I install them separately. Should be pretty simple. Right, Mark? Mark has been a huge help with these like last finishing touches on everything. It is officially finished. Dan's happy, and we're both just kind of like, it happens every year like this. Where like when it's finished, like, you just sit there and you stare and you're like, oh my gosh.
It happened again.
Another year, like so
and then
thankful.
You can't believe like how far we came. Look back like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 7 different variations of this car.
Yeah.
Still here. Still looks good every
Still
time.
Keeps us smiling. It's just so surreal, man. It's like the car kind of finalizes the past couple months of work where you're really just kind of putting your whole program together. It's different every year for every team. There's never anything guaranteed.
It's stressful.
It's stressful.
And it's very rewarding when it like comes to this point.
These moments,
like, oh.
yeah.
And you're like, wait, I get to drive that? Oh my gosh. And then, yeah. It looks so different, but every time it looks so good. Renee just does a really good job at this stuff.
Hey, thanks, Dan. And I'm a little tired. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good sign when we're both looking at it, and it gets us excited for the season. And I was asking Dan, I'm like, what does that even feel like when you get to look at this car and know that you just get to go out there and pretty much drive it to its complete limits? I don't know, it's just such a cool thing. It's literally a giant toy. It's kind of a cool view from up here, seeing both of them together. I'm on top of the forklift right now. What a difference. I mean, baby blue always looked kind of like its own because of the base color of the paint. It's pretty neat to see them together stacked like that. I think that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if this is something you guys would like to see every year, as long as I'm still the one wrapping the car and Dan doesn't fire me.
I'll quit without Renee.
Oh, jeez. I wouldn't get very far without you either, Dan. Okay, you guys. Thanks again. Talk to you later.